listeners and viewers. Welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned, as always, to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email, education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle, @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Hello students, welcome to another lesson on economics. My name still remains Nehemiah Joshua, and the topic that we'll consider today is economic systems, part 1. Now this topic is a bit broad. Now I decided to split it into two. We have the one we'll discuss today is economic system part 1. Then in our next class we'll discuss another segment, which is economic system part 2. Just like I said, today we will focus on part 1. Now, what is economic system? Economic system may be defined or seen as a way or as a medium or an organized way through which the means of production are directed in the production that will satisfy human want. Economic system, it is a means or a way through which the productive resources are organized in a way that will satisfy human wants. Now, in other words, economic system refers to the way in which the available productive resources in a state or a nation are owned, managed, and utilized in order to satisfy human wants. Now, the major economic systems of the world we have are divided or grouped into 3. We have the capitalism or free market economy. Number 2, socialism or centrally planned economy. Number 3, we have the mixed economy. They are the system of economics that we operate in the whole world. Now we'll take them one after the other. The first one, which is known as the capitalist or capitalism or free market economy. It is a system of economy, or it may be defined as the type of economic system in which the means of production are owned and controlled by private individuals. It is an economic system in which the means of production are owned and controlled by private individuals. It is also the type of economic system which is characterized by private ownership of means of production. Now, in this case, the private individual played a greater role in taking decision on what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, and the distribution of what has been produced. Now, the primary the private individual utilize their resources and direct its use for making of profit. Example of countries that operate capitalism in the world, we have the United States of America, Japan, Australia, France, Italy, and the rest of them. They are the countries that practice capitalist system of economy. Now, this capitalist system of economy has features. The first one, we have the private ownership of properties. Now, there is high degree of private ownership and control of the means of production with minimal participation by the state. Since we've said that this system of economy is dominated by the private individual. Now, government or state has a little say in this system of economy. Now, the next feature is existence of competition. There is also a greater existence competition among individuals and firms as a result of effort to acquire wealth or control the means of production. Just like I said, since many individuals are into this, or firms, there is this kind of competition among themselves. Each producer or firm would like to qualify its product to be the best. In that case, there must be competition among them. Just like these communication industries, we have the MTN, we have AIT, Glo Mobile, and the rest of them. There is competition among them. The next feature is maximization of profit. Capitalism is characterized by high level of profit maximization of private investors. Whatever they are doing, the main aim of going into any kind of production is to maximize profit, because the private individual own the means of production. So they are doing it in such a way that they will maximize profit. The next feature is free market enterprise. Capitalism enables individual freedom to choose their occupation based on their capabilities. No one is forced to go into any enterprise that he or she doesn't want to. As an individual, you have the right to choose any kind of enterprise you want to go into, considering the areas of your capabilities. Now, the next feature, accumulation of wealth. As a result of individual ownership of means of production, capitalism helps him to accumulate wealth. As I've said earlier, the market is controlled by private individuals, and whatever they are doing it in such a way that will enable them to accumulate wealth. The next feature is freedom of choice. In a capitalist system of economy, so many commodities are produced, and this enables consumers to have a wide range of choice. As a consumer, you are free to choose any kind of commodity you want to buy, or as a producer, you are free to produce any kind of commodity you want to produce, because you own the means of production as an individual in this system of economy. Advantages of capitalism. One of the advantages of capitalism is free enterprise. Just like I said earlier, no one can force an individual into any kind of venture or enterprise that he or she doesn't want to. You have the right or freedom to be able to choose any kind of enterprise that you want to. The next advantage, it encourages hard work. It encourages hard work. As an individual, as you continue with your enterprise or production capacity, it makes one to develop extra effort into the production, and as you develop extra effort, it will lead to the next feature, that is, it leads to specialization. Specialization in the sense that it enables individuals to engage in large-scale production. As you are aiming to produce goods in large-scale production, it will lead to specialization. The next advantage, it leads to economic competition. There must be competition between firms or individuals or companies that are into this system of economy. Provision of provision of alternative choice. As an individual or a producer can choose any kind of business or any kind of production he wants to go into. Just like I said earlier, you cannot be forced on what you don't want to do. So you are free, you have freedom to be able to choose the kind of enterprise that you want to go into. Now, let's move to the disadvantages of capitalism. One of it creates monopoly. Now, what is monopoly in the first place? Monopoly has to do with a single seller or a single producer of a particular commodity. Now, in this system of economy, since the market or the individual control the means of production, so in that case, he dominates the market. So that is one of the disadvantages. It creates monopoly. Another disadvantage, it leads to economic inequalities. It leads to economic inequalities. Now, in this case, since the resources belongs to a private individual who owns the means of production and the distribution is not done equally, because when you look at it, the few individuals who control the economy or who control the market does not distribute the goods equally to the citizens. The next disadvantage is few individuals are enriched. As we all know, since the market is dominated by few individuals, and only few individuals are enriched and the rest are poor. The next feature, disadvantages of capitalism is profit maximization at all costs. And individual or firms can do anything possible to ensure that they maximize profit. That is how they are doing it. Anything outside profit maximization is not their business. They can do anything at all costs to ensure that they maximize profit. And the last disadvantage is it increases crime rate. It increases crime rate. As an individual or firms that engage into this line of production, since we said there is a high level of competition among them, now in that case it results to increase in crime rate. These are the disadvantages of capitalism we have. Now let's move to the next type of economic system, which is known as socialism or centrally planned economy. Now, what is socialism? Socialism, it is the type of economic system in which the means of production and distribution are collectively owned and controlled by the state or government. Now, companies and industries or corporations that are responsible for the production of goods and services required in the country are owned and controlled by the government. In this case, the private individual have a little say in this system of economy. The market is operated or controlled and managed by the government or state. Now, the major aim of socialism, of a socialist economy, is to produce goods and services for the general welfare of its citizens. Example of countries that operate or practice socialist system of economy: China, they practice socialist system of economy; Poland, Bulgaria, and the rest of them. Now, in Africa, the countries that practice socialism include Ethiopia, Angola, Burkina Faso, and the rest of them. These are countries that practice socialism or centrally planned economy. Now, let's look at the features of socialism. Since we acknowledge the fact that socialism is being controlled, or it is government that controls the means of production, one of the features is joint decision making. One person cannot just take decision on his or her own, unless the decision must have to be taken collectively in such a way that they will take the decision on what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. The next feature, state ownership of means of production. All means of production and distribution are owned and controlled by the state, unlike the capitalism, where we say that it is the private individual that control the means of production. In the socialist system of economy, the means of production are controlled by the state or government. The next feature, non-profit making. The motive of socialist economic system is not to make profit. They are not out to make profit because the market is manned by government. So their aim is not to make profit. The next feature, promotion of welfare. Now, since we say that they are not out to make profit, the motive is to ensure that they provide goods and services for the welfare of their citizens. These countries that practice this system of economy, their main aim is to ensure that they provide goods and services that will satisfy the needs of its citizens. Now, the next feature is equitable distribution of income. Income is equitably distributed to all citizens in the state. Income is equitably distributed to all citizens in the state because government control and own the means of production. Now, the next feature is absence of economic rivalry. Rivalry in a socialist system is reduced to the minimum level as resources belongs to the government. Since resources belongs to the government, there is no any issue of rivalry. In the case of other system of economy, where the individuals or firms compete among themselves, there is this rivalship among them. But in the socialist system of economy, there is no rivalry because the market is controlled by the government. These are some of the features of socialism we have. Now, the next item is advantages of socialism or socialist system of economy. One of it, equitable distribution of resources. Since the resources that belongs to government ensure that they share these resources accordingly among its citizens, the way that every citizen will have his or her own share. Another advantage, absence of exploitation. Now, those people that engage into this production, since government own the means of production, exploitation is not found in this system of economy because those that engage in the production are being taken care of by the government. They are not being exploited, just unlike the capitalist system of economy where there is high level of exploitation. Another advantage, employment opportunities. Since the means of production are owned and controlled by the government, therefore they make employment opportunity available for its citizens. Economic security. Those people that engage into production, now their job security is assured. Anybody who engages him or herself into work, his job is assured by the government. The last advantage, absence of economic rivalry. Just like I said, there is absence of economic rivalry. That is that about the advantages of socialism. Now, the disadvantages of socialism, number one, absence of alternative choices. Just like I said, consumers have, the consumers, they don't have any choice. because whatever that is given to them by government, they will take it like that, because government provide everything for them. And like I said, the motive of this is not to maximize profit, but to produce or provide goods and services for the general welfare of its citizens. So they don't have a say. Whatever that is offered to them, they will take it like that. Another disadvantage, it creates room for laziness. Since government provide everything for them, most of the citizens, are lazy in this system of economy. The next disadvantage, lack of specialization. Now, as you are not taking active part in the production in this system of economic, there is that tendency in which you will not be specialized in the line of your duty or in the line of your business. The next disadvantage, absence of competition. There is no competition because government own the means of production. In that case, there is no competition. You cannot compete with government. The last disadvantage, it leads to state monopoly. It leads to state monopoly. It is the state government that control everything. That is why it leads to state monopoly. These are some of the disadvantages we have. Now, students, we've come to the end of this lesson, but before we go, let me give you some assignment that will keep you busy at home. One of it, the first question is question 1A. What is capitalism? What is capitalism? 1B. State and explain any 4 features of capitalism. State and explain any 4 features of capitalism. Number 2A. Define socialism. Define socialism. 2B. Explain 5 advantages and disadvantages of socialist economic system. The question again, the assignment again. Question 1A. What is capitalism? 1B. State and explain any 4 features of capitalism. State and explain any 4 features of capitalism. Question 2A. Define socialism. Define socialism. 2B. Explain 5 advantages and the disadvantages of socialist economic system. Now, if there is any problem or an area you are not well clear with in the course of doing the assignment, you are free to reach me through this contact 080-364-22966. The number again 080-364-22966. My name still remains Nehemiah Joshua. And mind you, students, you all know the reason why you are at home. You should use the opportunity to do what is expected of you, and you should adhere to the guidelines given by the NCDC in order to protect yourself from any from contracting this coronavirus. Stay at home and remain blessed. Thank you.